I mean, you have to treat him as a really accomplished, really good player, and you know, no different than game planning against some of the other great players that you prepare against. I mean, these guys might feel like they have a sense for what he does, especially the guys that played with him, although there aren't very many in our locker room that did. So and just get ready for the game, and you know, he's got a really good team around him. So just another day preparing for a good player.
With this format, Brad, playing the same team back-to-back nights, do you like that? Seeing the same team?
Yeah, so we were talking about that yesterday, and you know, it's interesting because from the standpoint of, you know, today I don't have to get ready for somebody that I'm not as familiar with, at least in the last, you know, that we haven't played yet this year, or that, you know, you're trying to learn their calls on the fly in a back-to-back and those type of things. So no, this is more about, you know, just seeing how we play today and then being able to adjust or move to tomorrow. We're playing a good team. I mean, this team is, you know, I think they're a legitimate contender out of the East, and I think they've improved, and I think that, you know, they've got really good players at every position. So this is great for us to have to play 96 minutes in a row against this team.
One of their strengths this year has been their defense as a whole. From what you've seen on film, what makes their defense so solid?
Well, they're really physical. They're really long. They're really athletic, especially at the you know, at the 1 and the 2 with Wall and Beal, and you know, Pierce is a guy that's always been able to guard his position and switch on to 4s, and is strong enough to do so. And then you've got multiple 4s and 5s that can hold down the fort, and so it's a good team. I mean, they can do a lot of good things on both ends of the court.
One of those multiple guys at the 4 and 5 is Chris Humphries. Just talk a little about seeing him in a different uniform.
Yeah, he's a great fit for them, and the reason I say that is because he can make an impact coming off the bench, or he can be inserted in the starting lineup when Nene's out, and really just fit in perfectly with those other guys. You know, he runs the floor well, he's shooting the 17-footer well, and he just makes his, you know, effort plays, which he did last year for us too. So very, you know, you always watch all these guys, and I never got a chance to coach Paul, but I follow Paul and Paul's stat lines closely. I follow Kevin and Kevin's stat lines closely, but certainly also the guys that played here last year. So I'm happy for Hump that he's playing well.
I think you had 3 home and homes last season. Do you remember how much deeper you were able to dive into the opposing team when you played those home and homes?
I mean, it's more about just adjusting on the fly, and there's a lot of factors that go into playing the second game of that. There's a lot of factors that go into playing the first one, but you know, certainly, again, you just have to play 96 good minutes of your basketball, because you know, you're going to become more familiar with the opponent as the 2 games go on.
How much was Chris's presence important for you?
I thought Chris was a great pro, and I told Randy that this summer when we talked, because I thought he positively impacted our locker room. I thought when things didn't go his way, he worked. When things did go his way, he worked. He just responded the way you're supposed to respond all the time, and you know, I have a lot of respect for him.
Brad, what is Marcus' status?
Marcus Smart, available to play.
Coach, you mentioned a little bit about their backcourt. What makes them so special? Because they're doing it offensively and defensively up there.
Well, without getting too in depth, they're really good players. I don't know what else to say. I mean, Wall's speed is elite. I mean, that's number 1 with him. He can get to where he wants to go. He can drive it both ways. I mean, right when you think you want to force him one way, he shows as much efficiency going the other. He's terrific in transition. He makes plays for others, and he can get to the rim and finish. And he's had games where he's really shot it well. Defensively, he can turn it up a notch. Beal is a guy that I've seen play since he was a kid. Actually recruited one of his teammates when I was at Butler, so I watched a ton of Beal when he was in high school, and he's a guy that, you know, can make tough shots. He's an outstanding cutter, which probably doesn't get talked about enough, and he can play with the ball in pick and roll. You know, they can go to either of those two guys late and pick and roll and usually get the shot they want.
Have you seen Marcus progress during practice yesterday and shoot around today, just compared to where he was?
Yeah, I think he's a little bit better.
You guys sent him to the D League the other day, but not yesterday. What was the reason for that?
1 o'clock game today.